Spend a little time here just bragging about our guys. There are a number of people in this NIL era who just talk about all the changes that have been made to the landscape. And it's true, it's really different, just college athletics and what it was even a year ago, or I'm sorry, 10 years ago. But it's definitely different than even what it was 2 or 3 years ago. And some of those changes have been good, and very appreciative of the fact that there's been strides made in order to help student athletes. And I would concur with a lot of people that there's a lot of changes that have really stunted the growth and development of athletes. But I do want to share with you what hasn't changed, and that's academics. Players still go to class, they still take finals, they still go to study hall, they're involved with internships, they still get graded, they still have group projects, and that is still the same. There are people day in and day out who understand their responsibilities academically, and our players do that. I know with spring semester starting next week, I really just want to tell you how proud I am of our guys and all that they've done in the classroom and just how good it's been. So I will tell you, we've got 15 players. Um, Three of them made straight A's, 4.0. 11 of them have north of a 3.5 GPA, and the 3.43 team GPA is the second highest in the history of Shocker basketball. And guys who are responsible, I just really admire people who do things with excellence, and they understand that they're stewards. You've been given something and you have a responsibility to do it well. And just really proud of our guys. It's a tribute to our staff. Nolan McGee kind of heads all this up for us and does a phenomenal job of class checks and making sure that people are there. If you're not in class, if you're 2 minutes late, they usually have a cleaning session at 6 a.m. in the weight room. And we've had some of those, but we haven't had many of them. As many of you know, Gretchen Torline oversees all of it, and she just beams with pride. If any of you know Gretchen, just understand how prideful she is and the job that she does helping our student athletes. I can't thank her enough. It's a testament to our parents, and it's a tribute to our players. It's been my experience that people who know how to take care of responsibilities on the off the court are usually going to do a good job on it. You lift weights. You don't exercise strength in a silo. You lift weights with our strength coach so that you can then go exercise it on the court. You have to have discipline off the court so you can go exercise it on it. And for our guys to achieve what they did, we tell them up front that this is important to us, and there are standards here. And so for these guys to have the second highest GPA in the fall semester for that semester, just really, really proud. And it's a tribute to the parents and it's a tribute to the players.
Coach, you mentioned after the North Texas game, I think one of the first things you said was when it comes to conference games, skill doesn't win you those games, intangibles do.
Yeah.
What are some of the most important tangibles that are going to be needed for this two-year project?
Yeah, I would tell you physicality. This is going to be a game that I just really believe it's a game that honors toughness. And we're hitting people, we're just not maintaining physicality. And that's an intangible. I mean, we showed a number of clips in what we would reference as TNT plays. It takes no talent. And some of that is just being able to grab a loose ball with two hands. We had seven of them. Just being able to retrieve those basketballs. Some of it is maintaining contact, like we'll hit, but we're not sticking, and it's leading to too many shot opportunities for the opposition. Running the floor is one of those TNT plays that, man, it takes no talent. Playing off of 2 feet is a developed skill, but that's to be honest with you, that's a TNT play. And we have a number of them. We grade them, we show them, and just to really try to encourage guys that, man, you probably heard me say, you need to operate in the 95%. 5% of the game, the ball's going to be your hands. And you need to know what your truth is and who you are as a player. But then you need to operate in that 95%. A lot of operating in that 95% is making TNT plays. And there's games where we have more of them. Usually, if we can be in north of 18, we're probably going to find our way winning that basketball game. So it comes down to closing out with a stick can, or referencing a Kango on a hot, like all of the things that you have to do in order to be good at defending personnel. But those are some of them.
You had to kind of game that you had back on Sunday. Clearly, a lot of good space room to work with. Was that sort of by design from what the Shocks wanted to do, or just pretty much what the defense gave?
Yeah, offense is spacing, and spacing is offense, and good spacing creates good offense, and vice versa. And good offense usually requires good spacing. There was a company that was around that did this metric of spacing, and was fortunate to coach teams that were number one in the country at it. And I think everybody understands what spacing is. If you ever watch third graders play basketball, one of the third graders has the ball, and the other four kids are yelling, Noah, 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 Noah. And they're all running at him. And you just realize, when I watch camp basketball, I was like, this spacing is awful. And just you're looking at corners. I think everybody understands spacing, but the most important thing is respacing. The ball does not stand still. And I thought we did a good job of respacing. It's some of this is organic. Some of it is being mindful about where you need to position yourselves on the court. And was really proud of, like, for instance, KG's last play of the game. They take the ball out of KG's hands. He throws over to the right side to Mike. And I know that fans were booing because the initial play was Will around the goal. And fans booed twice. Will was 100% right on both of those decisions, and did the right thing, and turns around and gets the ball out. We're not going to take a shot, unless it's a layup or a dunk, and those weren't afforded to him. But I thought that was better than what we faced. If you go back and revisit the Charlotte game, like, there were lessons learned from that opportunity. But going back to that particular play, we get Mike right 45, throw it to KB in the corner. KB goes and gets a piece squared play, kicks it to KG up top. He drains a three. And there's 6 seconds. I thought there was a lot of maturity there. There was a lot of patience. There was understanding. So spacing is pretty significant. And I thought overall that the last game, I thought we did a good job. We haven't had much in the way of spacing here, just on account of our inability to shoot the three my previous 2 years. And so it's getting better. But again, like, we were number one in the country at getting shots at the rim, and you have to have space for that. As you understand, people aren't just going to let you go dunk the ball. So when teams collapse and you spray it out, you need to have people who can make them pay, and just feel like we have a group that if you try that, we can make you pay.
How's TJ doing?
Good, yeah. Phil good. He's cleared all the protocols. He's got one more hurdle before to be cleared, but I think he's going to be fine, and he'll be able to go Thursday.
Looked like a pretty big turnaround in that North Texas game compared to the Rice game. What would you say you were pleased with the most?
Explain to me what you mean by pretty big turnaround.
It looked like Rice kind of played a lot more physical. It seemed like you guys handled that pretty well against North Texas, I guess. Was that something you were pleased with?
The physicality, yes, and we just couldn't get shots to fall, and in that Rice game, we were getting them. We're getting quality shots, and again, I don't want to make too much of us not shooting the ball. We could defend better. I thought for the most part we defended better. I thought we over exaggerated some coverages on five. And so I thought from an on ball perspective we were better, but just over exaggerated some coverages that I think could get exploited later that we need to clean up. But we were more aggressive. The goal against Rice was to take away the three, and we did a really good job of that. It just didn't materialize for us on the offensive end, as well as some opportunities in one-on-one defense. So thought that was better. And, we were only +1 against Rice on the glass, +8 the other day against a good rebounding team. So, I mean, there were some definite pluses, but physicality. Um, yeah, I'm not sure that was that big of a difference, Rice versus North Texas.
You mentioned like the importance of like the TNT plays. How do you guys emphasize that? Is it just point them out in film, like, hey, this is, this gets rewarded? Do those guys get celebrated, or like how do you guys kind of emphasize TNT plays?
Yeah, acknowledge it, in film, rewarded on the court. We've been really clear with our guys on the things that you need to do and really just giving them one thing to think about. And so when the TNT plays come up, I think for the most part, everybody's required to make TNT plays, everybody's required to space, everybody's required to defensive rebound, and everybody's required to take care of the ball. That's universal all the way across the board. So we knowing that there's TNT plays in the same way that we would do defensive rebounding, the same way that we would do pick and roll coverage, we make sure that they're acknowledged.
I guess, did you have a favorite one from last game?
Uh, I would tell you that the two-hand grab by Karan Boyd off of a save to the corner by KG. You see one earlier that happens where DB saves the ball underneath your own goal. You don't need to do that. That you're going to find yourself at a disadvantage. But I think KG tries to throw it off one of their players. KB ends up grabbing it. I thought the other one was Mike being able to grab a two-hand loose ball off of DB getting a shot blocked, and he grabs it, goes in, and Will ends up getting a three-point play out of it. But just being able to retrieve, not trying to make plays out of bobbled balls, just making sure that you're retrieving basketballs with two hands. Again, it's just a lack of discipline to do otherwise.
Looking at FAU, obviously a lot of height on that team and rim protection. Block shots definitely stands out right now for them. What kind of comes to mind for you looking at the Owls?
Yeah, really, really good. I mean, shoot the three. I mean, yeah, you don't see a lot of guys at 6'11" just have that kind of gravity, having the ability to shoot the ball with zero fat on his shot. Like his. I know everybody gets caught up in the Klay Thompson .29 catch release, but I bet he's in the .5, .6 range, and because he's 6'11", they just spread you out so much. And then they have an elite shot blocker in Devin Williams who can do a lot of rim protection. And then I would tell you that Carlisle is as good an on-ball defender or an on-ball player. And if your on-ball defense is not up to par, like it could be a really long night because of their ability to play downhill. If you go back and look again the Memphis game, I mean, they get 18 second chance points to Memphis 0. And Memphis has some guys and they have some ability. So their ability to shoot the ball, their ability to have unique players who can do multiple things, and at the same time, they're leading the league right now in defensive glass. I mean, they're only giving up 20% on the offensive end, so it's just really impressive. John Jacobs has just done a phenomenal job, and those guys are obviously really tough to beat at home.
Taking on these next two teams for this quarter road trip. These two teams are top half of the conference. Obviously, each conference game brings new opportunities, new chances to grow. But I feel like this next two-game stretch means a little bit more. Just looking at the caliber and the record that they have, especially at home.
Honestly, don't know what their record is. I just know they're good, but it does. I mean, it does. That you play the next one. I mean, it really doesn't matter. I get where Vegas lines and people think that because so-and-so says you're supposed to beat them by so-and-so, that you should have beat them by so-and-so. I don't think that there's anybody in our locker room who thinks that way. We understand just how hard it's going to be.
What kind of conversations have you had, maybe during the game, maybe after the game on Sunday with the Dillon team?
One, we traded text after the game, and I've talked to him since. And, you know, his dad, I've known his dad, Derek Petit, forever. His Uncle Tony was, you know, a lottery pick, and he's a basketball family. I think Dylan Petit was coming to our games when I coached at Baylor back when he was 5 or 6 years old because I coached his uncle. And so it's fun visiting with the family, you know, and I'm telling you, their family's great. Like, even when they were all at the Bahamas, Dylan Beatty played 0 minutes in those 3 games, and they kind of understand. They are a basketball family, and they understand. And Dylan was very grateful. I tell people, I say this, you know, when I get up before the players every day, and I said, I'm about to attack today with a gratitude unknown to all of humankind. I hope you do the same. And I would tell you that, just stealing one of those John Harbaugh quotes, but I would tell you that that's the way Dylan approaches it. Extremely grateful. Whether he plays or doesn't play, he's going to approach it the right way. He has a wonderful family who gets it. And so the conversations have been, you know, happy for Dylan, but you've got a long way to go. And Dylan will be the first one to tell you that.
And someone like Dre, you know, you look at his stats, really good assist to turnover ratio. What are some things that he needs to improve to, you know, become more, I guess, play more, be on the floor? Or is it just tough when, you know, he's out there, KG's out there? Does that have something to do with it? Or what are some things that he could do to, you know, be more of a factor, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, those are obviously conversations that we've had with Dre, and I think Dre's done a good job in the minutes that he has. He manages the team. There's some pairings that we're really mindful of, and you know, there's moments where he's doing really, really well. And I think for him, he's better understanding the things that are required defensively and offensively in order to have him. He was hurt against Rice, and so we were kind of, when he was out there, just playing 4 versus 5 just because of his wrist, and just wasn't able to shoot the basketball. And so he was trying to move it. Obviously, we had a guy in Mike who was doing really well, and we needed to play him. So all of that to say, I think Dre understands the things he needs to do defensively and offensively in order to give himself an opportunity.
Anything else? Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.